Welcome to this introduction to Appjangle. Appjangle is a platform designed to make software developers more productive. On this platform, there's no need to write any code for the database or server layers. This allows developing applications for front and back-end users quickly, without the need for expensive server infrastructure. Also, with Appjangle you can store the data from all your apps in one database, no matter how much data or how many apps you have. To show how this works, I now develop an application using the Appjangle IDE. I can launch the IDE by going to appjangle.com/apps. Here I select the Appjangle Integrated Development Environment. The IDE allows me to create various resources required for an app. I'll start with a module. Modules are little apps which can be used independently or combined into larger applications. Fundamentally, modules are composed of an HTML template, a data template, and some JavaScript. I'll develop a module to create and edit some simple employee information. I'll start with the HTML template. It is just plain HTML that I've prepared beforehand, so you don't need to watch me type. This template contains a text input field for the employee name, a simple drop-down component with 2 positions, and a submit button. I can view this form by going back to the module editor and opening the module preview. As we can see, it doesn't look all that great yet. But I can fix that quite easily. I need to go back to the HTML editor and add a few CSS classes. Specifically, I'll use classes from the Bootstrap framework for the name field, for the position field, and finally for the submit button. Now when I go back to the preview, I find a much more pleasant user interface. The next step in developing the module is to define a template for the module data. This template is defined in a small JavaScript snippet. Again, I've prepared some code. This here creates a data field for an employee name and a position. The last missing piece is application logic, again defined in JavaScript. This script I prepared here uses jQuery to define a click handler for the button, then some more jQuery to grab the value from the text field, which is then assigned to the application data, specifically the name field I defined before and the position field. Finally, the change data is committed to the Appjangle cloud. The module is complete now and I can go to the IDE's deployment tool to install this app for my user. This will make the module available as one of the resources I can create in the IDE. When I click Create, there's a new entry in the list named Unnamed Node. That's not a very descriptive name, but I can fix it quite easily by going back to the module editor. In the general settings for this module, I can define a better name for the data template for this module, such as Employee. Now when I go back to the main screen of the IDE and create a new resource, I find a correctly named item employee, and if I click it, a new employee record is created. I just define a name and position here and click Submit. Starting with the simple application, I'll now highlight 4 features of the Appjangle platform. First, let's take a look at the employee record I've just created. As you can see, I can right-click it and open it as a link. This link contains the raw data created by the app, available under unique URIs. That is feature number 1. Every item of data has a unique address. Also, I can take a link to an item of data, such as for the name here, and append suffixes such as .value.xml. This is feature number 2. All data created with Appjangle is available in various formats. But let's go back to the Appjangle IDE. The module that I've developed has created an item here with the title N and some generic icon. That's not perfect yet, but I can improve this with another feature of Appjangle: global types. Because every item of data in Appjangle has a globally unique address, all data can be shared between all Appjangle apps. Types in Appjangle are just data, so I can conveniently share types between apps. I get a type for the employee app from appjangle.com/plus. Appjangle Plus is a repository of types, UI components and libraries. I'll use the label type here. The label type is defined by its own unique address. The import button allows me to import this type into my IDE. I'll do this in a new tab. All I need to do is to confirm the import by clicking the Import as Reference button. Now, when I go back to my IDE, I'll find the label type in my data stream. I'll do the same for an icon type. I can create my own types too. For the employee module, I'll sensibly create an employee type. For this, I go to Create, select Type, and give the name Employee. But let me go back to my module. Here I can import the types as nodes. I just select the node for the label type and click Add. I'll do the same for the other types. I go back to the data factory and paste some code I've prepared. This new code links the imported types to the data created for each employee. Now when I create a new employee by giving a name and position, there will be a correct label and icon. What I can do with types, I can do for libraries as well. Libraries, like types, are just data on the Appjangle platform and can thus easily be shared between apps. I've imported a library here from the Appjangle Plus repository. I can import this library into my module and make it available as a variable, which I can use in the application logic. I'll replace the application logic with a new version. Now the linked library is loaded first and initialized. Then I use it to connect the input fields with data fields. Any change in the UI will now be reflected in the data automatically, and there's no need for a submit button anymore. I hope it has become apparent by now that the Appjangle platform enables a radically different way to develop applications. Half of this capability rests on the fact that every item of data is identified by a globally unique address. The other half of this capability is enabled by a powerful synchronization engine. This engine enables working with remote, cloud-based data as if it was local data. This allows for compact code and high-performance clients. The factory I defined for the module, for instance, creates data on the client, and the user can immediately start working with it. The engine then synchronizes the data with the cloud in the background. This way, slow round trips to the cloud can often be avoided, and data can be kept in the local storage or application memory for fast access. Also, the same data can be loaded on multiple clients. Each client can work with the data as if it was local data. The Appjangle engine takes care of the complex task of keeping everything in sync between the clients. In that, Appjangle doesn't just support simple data structures such as lists and maps. Instead, data is expressed as graphs. This enables a whole different way of thinking about data. Data becomes limitless, where everything can be connected to anything. But Appjangle offers plenty more than what I've shown so far. For instance, powerful client libraries for Java and Android for cross-platform data synchronization, supported by unifying API for JavaScript and Java applications, easy ways to manage user data, and in-memory servers for high-performance unit tests. To learn more about Appjangle, check out the tutorial videos, getting started guides, and API references available on the Appjangle homepage. Thank you very much for viewing this introduction, and please don't hesitate to get in touch if you have any questions or just want to say hello.